Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is September 21st, and we are going to be finishing the conversation that Jesus is having with Nicodemus today, all from in chapter 3, from verse 1 to verse 21. All of that encapsulates this conversation about this being born again from above that Jesus is having with Nicodemus. And this is the final bit of it. Yesterday we took on one verse, but today we're a little more ambitious. So we'll be looking at verses 17 to 21 today in the third chapter of John's Gospel. So, but remember when you're reading this, and remember when you're reading 3:16, that this is part of that whole conversation with Nicodemus. And remember that Nicodemus does show up again twice more in John's Gospel. All right, so 17 to 21 in chapter 3 of John. Indeed, God did not send the Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Those who believe in him are not condemned, but those who do not believe are condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and people love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For all who do evil hate the light, and do not come to the light, so that their deeds may not be exposed. But those who do what is true come to the light, so that it may be clearly seen that their deeds have been done in God. Okay. Again, this is still aimed at, or directed at Nicodemus, the teacher from the Pharisees and a member of the Sanhedrin. So indeed, God did not send Jesus into the world to condemn the world. It's not about, he is trying to redeem the world, not to condemn the world. Okay, we need to bear that in mind. God's goal is for reconciliation. I've always said that the overarching nature of God is a nature of reconciliation. That is what God's greatest desire is for all of us, is to be reconciled to him and to one another as well. Here, though, those who believe in him are not condemned, but those who do not believe are condemned already, because they have not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And he goes on from there to talk about the people fleeing from the light and the dark. And I think when we're reading that we might want to bear in mind, and it's going to come up again later in John chapter 3, a couple days down the road. But let's bear in mind as we read this what we learned in James's book, James's letter, which we just finished not that long ago, seems like. And I'm preaching through it now, in the sermons. But James chapter 2, verses 18 to 20, James tells us this. And remember, James, we believe to be the brother of Christ, James the just. But someone will say, you have faith and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? And that's the famous verse there. But the middle verse, 19, you believe that there's one God, you do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. So I think the emphasis there is that it's not only about belief, it's about belief that drives one to changing their ways, to get out of this idea of seeking the darkness and staying out of the light that Jesus is talking about here to Nicodemus. That he's speaking, as he's ending this, he's speaking to him at nighttime, isn't he? So, which is when a lot of the teaching went on. But there's a metaphor there, I think. He's come to him in the dark, and at the end he's addressing the dark again, and that he needs to come to him in the daylight so that everyone can see that he's coming to him, so that he is actually showing his belief rather than hiding his belief. See, I think there's a real truth to that and a real strength to that that's here, and that his deeds need to be shown that he is a Christ follower rather than being this secret Christ follower. But we also need to bear in mind the wonderful parable of the vineyard, where the workers are gathered in 3 or 4 different sections of time, and the manager, the foreman, pays them all equally, no matter how long they were working. So it's not really how soon you get on the payroll, it's that you get on the payroll. So no matter where you're at in life, it's time to get on the payroll, as they say. Okay? Time to go work in the vineyard. So that is where we're at, I think, for today, for 17 to 21. we're going to pick up tomorrow on verse 22, and we will be talking again. John the Baptist shows up again for a little bit before we talk again a little bit more about this, what we've been talking about here. We'll refer back to it as we get to the very last verse of this chapter. Okay? So with that, I'm going to let you go for today. Have a very, very blessed day. Enjoy it. It looks like it's going to be a very pleasant day weather-wise. So get out and enjoy it. Have a blessed day. Please, please be a blessing to someone today. We'll see you in the morning. Bye-bye.